I'm going to Mars. I'm going to Mars. Anybody here been to Mars? I don't think so. Anybody been to the moon? I'm going to Mars. How did that happen? It is really, really strange. You know, the other day, in fact, last month, I was reading my Minneapolis Tribune, looking at all the funny stuff, doing the puzzles and so on and so forth. But a part of being connected is to read the news. So I'm reading about the politics and all those other things, and I got into page 5, and there's a public service announcement. Wow, this is strange. It says, attention, it's from NASA. NASA is now accepting applications for its January 2019 trip to the red planet Mars. The agency is looking for a few good men and women who want to fulfill their dreams and be part of the next generation of space explorers, the Space Force. The open positions require extensive travel from Earth into the vastness of space and the red planet Mars. All who qualify must be super motivated, and only those individuals are encouraged to apply. For this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This could be a really dangerous trip. The deadline for applications is August 31st, 2018, with a launch to follow on January 15, 2019 at 12 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. All applications are to be submitted to NASA, care of the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. NASA is an equal opportunity employer. I looked at that and I said, I think it was a Tuesday, and I thought to myself, wow, I think I'll apply. You know, they won't accept me, but I'll apply anyway. After all, I've been to Asia, I've been to Africa, I've been to Scandinavia, hell, I've even been to Canada. I think I want to go to Mars. So I sent in my application, and about 2 weeks ago, I got the return thing from NASA, Johnson Space Center, so on and so forth, addressed to Rick Lien, AKA Cycle City Rick. Now, I opened this with great fear, because I've been disappointed a lot of times. Mr. Richard Lien, aka Cycle City Rick. Dear Mr. Lien, congratulations. We at NASA are pleased to inform you that you have been selected as a crew member for the January 15, 2009 launch to Mars. We fully expect this launch will prove to be the opportunity of a lifetime for you. Plan on reporting as ASAP to the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. The launch is scheduled for the 15th of January, and there are many things to get ready and prepare for. Respectfully, Keith Glenman, Chief NASA Flight Administrator. Wow, NASA is an equal opportunity employer. So, I've got this. I believe this is my ticket to Mars. Now, once you get past that, you get to thinking, I've got to find out a little about Mars. You know, this is anywhere from 35 million to about 250 million miles away from Earth. Depends on orbits, it depends on time of the year, it depends on how much fuel you're going to use to get there. It takes anywhere from about 700 days to about 1,000 days to get up there, stay, and come back. Now, if you think about the moon, it's a mere 275 million miles away. 2 to 3 days get you up, maybe another 2 to 3 days to get back. So it's a long way. And it's very inhospitable. It's got about a 0 climate with very little oxygen, so I'll need one of those flashy spacesuits and helmets with air support. And it's very hot and very cold, depending on what time it is. So I'm thinking to myself, NASA is going to provide me with the uniforms. They're going to provide me with all the equipment I need. So I'm in good shape. But because I'm going to be there so long, maybe I need to take a few things along. Now, where do you go to figure out what you want to take? Of course, you go to the internet. Dial up 5 best things to take to Mars, or the 10 best things to take to Mars. And there's lists and lists of that stuff. But I've consolidated them into just 5 items. 5 items. Because the climate and the atmosphere is so inhospitable in terms of temperature, and because you go from hot to cold, I thought you ought to have a good pair of long johns along. Everybody knows when it's cold, a good pair of long johns helps keep you warm. Conversely, when it's hot, you need that sunscreen and those sunglasses to look cool. Now the other thing is, and I don't think NASA supplies this, is you gotta have a good roll of duct tape. Because when you're in space, bad things happen. Your space suit may be punctured, maybe this and that, and a good roll of Gorilla duct tape, not that gray stuff, but the good Gorilla stuff will fix virtually everything. If you have to go outside the capsule, you may have to tape a couple of particles together, duct tape is your answer. But I think more along that same line, you're gonna be there a long time. And let's say that these 4 people are my crewmates. After about 3 years, I'm tired of looking at them. So I want to have some pictures of the family along. Maybe the dog, the kid, companion, grandma, grandpa. It doesn't really make any difference. Somebody that can look at and kind of, these sort of things. For record keeping, any good tourist knows he needs a smartphone. Because there is no better device at this point in time for taking pictures than a good smartphone. Just beef up the memory, and you'll be ready to go. You'll be on the Mars planet looking around, snapping pictures, looking cool. And if something happens and you get cell phone service up there, you can call back. I can call Christy. Hey Christy, how's it going? Have a good time on the moon. The only one problem is it takes about 35 minutes for that signal to get there. Now the very last thing I thought was extremely important. When you go to Mars, you don't know what you're going to meet. You don't know who you're going to meet. But in case you meet a Martian, you may want to have a Mars bar to give him. Because everybody knows that everyone likes chocolate. Now, I've got my list. Put them in a little box. I'm ready to go. There isn't anything I can't handle. I don't have a 3D printer. I don't have my golf clubs. I don't have any of that stuff. But I'm thinking to myself, why did they accept me? It's a question. I just couldn't get past that. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a programmer. I'm just old Cycle City Rick. Ding. The light went on. That's it. It's about 800 to 900 days out and back. Let's do the math. At my age, with my life expectancy, I may not make it back. I'm a free ride for them on the way back, which tells me they plan on bringing something back in my place. Now, it could be rocks, or it could be one of those Martians. You'll have to wait till 2019 to find out.